Yeah! I did it!
What the hell is this?
Join the case battle on hellcase.com. Buy a case and compete with other players. If your skin is more expensive, take it all to yourself.
That was very simple.
Hellcase, fill up your inventory with cool loot.
I like Thorin, so I will not accept anyone talking shit about Thorin, okay?
Siwu was easily...
Alright, let me tell you something. I tend to agree with Thorin quite a lot, but I could disagree with him as well. Huh? I love the man. He's a hard worker and he knows what he's talking about. But you know, sometimes you have your unpopular opinions and you stick to them, you know, and I like the people that stick to their opinions, you know.
the most overrated GOAT content in the history of Counter-Strike. The history of the game. Because you have to realise, guys, you don't even get in the GOAT conversation unless you're mega legit normally. Like, my problem is this. If you look at his body of work, he can be in the conversation. This is what I hate about this. I made this point before, but I'll be very brief with it. The same fans who themselves put him in this convo. I never put him in this convo, guys. Like, I tweeted this the other day. I think it's pathetic that ESL even called m0NESY a legend because he won fucking Cologne 1.5 years into his career. It's like, bro, what do these words mean anymore? So the same thing. I didn't put Siwu in the...
I agree with him in that part. What does that word means? Legend. What does that mean, bro? Everybody's a legend. Everybody. Literally, everybody's a legend. m0NESY will be a legend for sure. 100% m0NESY is gonna be a legend. But you're gonna be a legend after like 1, 2 years, 3 years of career, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like putting Zywo in a GOAT content today is just mental. You should never do it. The longevity needs to be like, the career needs to be longer. Right?
I think that they got a point. Zywo suffered a lot from the COVID season. It's not his fault. It's not because it's not his fault. That's it is what it is. You know, like an MVP you get online doesn't value an MVP you get offline. It is what it is. It has to be, even if your MVP is Cologne and it's online. Well, let me tell you that the ESL Pro League or the Summit, the CS Summit MVP you get, but offline, is worth more than the MVP you get from online Cologne. But you need to accept that Zywo, bro, if you remove the COVID season, because I think we should be removing and not talk about that season. Also helps me a lot because that was the worst season of my career. I think that, yes, longevity and time on the top and that kind of things matter in the GOAT debate. I don't think Zywo can be considered the GOAT. I don't think it's a shame or it's crazy to consider Zywo in the top 5 of the best player in the history already.
I would actually rather my favourite player scores 50 points in an elimination game in the NBA and loses than has 10 points and wins the game. Because,
bro, we've talked about it, chat, last time, you know, when I told you that I was that kind of player that I would rather do 50 kills and lose than having 10 kills and win.
I want to go to my take because I'm going to get a whole country angry with this one, and I might even get Thorin angry with this one, is that m0NESY today is better than Prime Kenny S. So this is if you dropped m0NESY back into 2015 with that Envious lineup when they won Cluj-Napoca, where he won the MVP, m0NESY would do just as well, if not better, than what Kenny S did there. In fact, I think he would do better. And so Kenny S kind of has this like fabled skill ceiling that he was...
You gotta be ready for that, guys. You gotta be ready for that take, okay? I will try to be as objective as possible, okay? I'm gonna try to not roast that little guy that is with Snake because I think he's just starting to be real event in the real event, really real event in the CS landscape. So I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible, okay?
And the one thing is that the numbers that Kenny S put up in that...
Bro, I'm the one that is the proudest of m0NESY, bro. He's the one that looks like me, that plays like me, you know? So I love it.
2014 year were insane, but that was pre-op nerf. And so with m0NESY now, he's putting forward numbers very similar to what Kenny S was putting up in his prime with a nerfed op in terms of movement speed, in terms of bullets, and then also on top of that, to me, m0NESY is a much more complete player. Like, his utility usage is so much farther along.
Oh yeah. Let me be honest about one thing. First of all, he's obviously not aware of the history in Counter-Strike because people consider my prime 2014, which I'm not like arguing, but I've won the most, I've got the most MVPs, and I've been the most consistent after the op nerf. which already makes his take pretty wrong. Uchichi's age, overall, Monesi is so much better than me, bro. Let me tell you why. Because, bro, I've never been as passionate of CS as Monesi. Literally, Monesi, bro, could spend hours on server just having no clip and finding stuff. Me, all I wanted to do, bro, is join the server and kill everyone. Just the clutch is one against FaZe, Dust 2, where he wins that 1v1 with the molly he's put. Like, Monesi is a genius when it comes to HDZ's age and that kind of things.
I would say their rifle game is probably where I would consider them both kind of on the weaker end. But honestly, I just think that if you had a time machine, put Monesi in it, dropped him in 2014, he would be the best player on the planet easily.
Okay. Why players like I love Monesi, and I think Monesi has the talent to and the potential to be the best player in the world. But back in 2014, why people like Device, Nico, Simple, that were already here and really strong? Why those players, among the best players in the world right now, were not the best player in the world back then? So why Monesi would be the best player in the world back then?
So I think the start of his career is very similar to the Kenny Essence one, right?
Yeah, and also, chat, one thing that is for sure is that you cannot compare Pelé, Ronaldinho, and Neymar because all of those three players played in different era of football. As simple as that.
Titan when he was the button beast, mate. Like you say, it was 2014, early 2015. Remember, the Open Earth was like April. I think it was actually April 1st or the 31st of March. And it was like right on the border. That's why famously people thought it was a joke, even though the joke is it never was. It just continued to this day. So there's three angles why that's not the case. One, even when Kassad just happily just gives that up and just goes, yeah, maybe he's more skilled. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I'm with fucking Apex on this one. I think Kenny S might be the most skilled player to like ever play Counter-Strike. It's him and Simple, in my opinion. Him, Simple, and Nico are probably my top three. I don't even think Zero's at the top of that list. I think the thing with Zero that's amazing to me is the polish.
And that's why I like throwing my man. Oh, bro, throwing is... Guys, let me tell you something about throwing. I said it many times, but there is no one ever, including myself, that believed in myself more than him. Bro, like, honestly, guys, and he's coding Apex right here. It's not even speaking about his own opinions, you know? Like, Throwing never changed his opinions about me or about anything else. This guy, that you agree with him or disagree with him. You cannot agree with everything he says. You cannot. But this guy is real. And the amount of people that are real in his sport, the amount of people that are real in the world of journalism, the amount of people that are real among the analysts, there is barely any, bro. Like or don't like Throwing is real.
It just seems like it's so fucking like well-rounded from day one. That's the crazy part to me. So I think that's intuition. I do think Monesi's in this category. Like if I'm doing like prodigies to ever play Counter-Strike, he'd be like top 5. But essentially, I think it's not that I'd say one or the other's right on that one. I think they're both insane. Like if people don't know, early Kenny S is a reason why he was like 16 when he was in Very Games or whatever. Like it was also the same thing. It was just a phenom. Like it just hit every flick. And that style is, like you say, it's the only person. It's only basically Kenny S and Simple you can compare Monesi to. Like they have the fucking that crazy flick style. Like no.
Okay, Throwing doesn't hate Zyro. Throwing have a take on Zyro that I don't agree with, but he has some points that are you can validate. Yeah, he also said that Ford was overrated. And it's not a take that I also agree with him. Bro, stop forgetting the amount of time he was fucking right as well, you know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing, I don't think the nerf's actually what killed Kenny S's game, if people don't know. Like, I actually do think if you look at it, I mean, I know some things from inside the team. Basically, that was when he'd already had to like hard carry the team for something mad. Like I think it was like 5 or 6 months at that point in time when Kenny had been banned. I think that's what killed Kenny S's game. Is he wasn't a guy who liked to grind anywhere. Now he had to not only grind, he had to like be twice as good as everyone else in the game. Like I think that was never tenable. No one could keep that going forever. Like the mental strain is what's impossible there. And then the last thing is this. I'll just throw the stats out there. What you're doing right now, this is why it's appropriate for Hot Take Point Made, is you're doing what all the Zemu fans do. Oh, you're riding with Monesi today, because you just saw
Today.
Take Claude off there, bro. Where's this motherfucker this year? Nowhere. No one had him top player of the year, Maui. Like, you're overrated from this tournament. Go look at the stats for this year, the best year of his career. He has 0.76 kills per round. Kenny S, you can add a 0.1 to that. He was 0.86 kills per round. Like, and then lastly, let me know when Kenny S ever had a fucking Nico on the side. By the way, I gave Nico the MVP. I don't give a fuck about Monacy. Nico was the MVP of this tournament. Let me know when Kenny S could have a Bing Chill as a sidekick and win a fucking major. Like, it would never happen. It would never happen in his whole career. So I don't hate it as a take. I just think essentially I disagree. And it's too much playing on that whole thing of like, a good all-star now would be the best player in the 1960s. It's like, well, what are we even discussing now at this point in time? Like, I don't get it. As far as I can tell, this is why I don't ever do. You know what? I never do those comparisons, even though I love hypotheticals. I never do player today dropped in the past, because as far as I can tell, the real logic that people are like, haha, I'm smart, is like, it's like saying, if you took the dumbest person in class but gave him the answers and put him there back to yesterday, wouldn't he? It's like, well, yeah, great. What are we even talking about at this point?
Oh my god, he knows the history, bro. He's been there since day one, bro. He knows the history. He knows, bro. He fucking knows, bro.
When Kenny S post-nerf, he was never as good as Monacy has been this year.
Bro, Monacy didn't have to play against Australians, bro. I swear to God. Like I as I said, I like Monacy, and I'm really proud of him being compared to me. Like it's a really big thing for me, because he's literally a little me. But Apex said I was the best mechanically player. Allez.
Flip side.
Kenny, you know, in his prime, didn't really have any kind of support at all in superstar level, right? Now,
Well, I did in 2017, and that's why also I think that 2017 was my best year. But Fruin is the crack, he's the king. That's all I have to say. Kassad was a bit in the middle. He had to improvise everything and be the referee of that debate. Moist Snake had a point when he says that overall, Monacy is a more dedicated player than I am when it comes to Ichichi's age and all kind of things. I think when it comes to Ichichi's age, and the dedication, the passion he has about the game is much higher than I've ever had, which really makes a difference when it comes to a lot of aspects of the game for Monacy. But I would tend to agree on the fact that, first of all, Monacy has been trained by Academy in a really different time of Counter-Strike, whereas I just like get out of my room and play CS to destroy my opponent. Apex said I was the best, most skilled player of all time, so I would just go with Apex, because I think Apex is the best game leader of the history of Counter-Strike. Let's go. Let's move on.